Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So we're in a tween week this week, so you're going to get a random key to the week card which has just jumped out, and there are two. So the first one is Temperance and the second is the Tower. So integrating challenge, integrating wisdom, or maybe even getting past some kind of fluke, freak event or accident of some kind. This could be a moment of serendipity. It could be a big realization that you have that really kind of puts the wind on, or the fire under your tushy, as they say. I will say as well, like, if Temperance is about alignment and the Tower card is about potentially destruction, this is literally one of those moments where something in our lives, I'm a Leo ascendant as many of you know, could literally be pulled apart and simultaneously put back together. If you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say that over the course of this year. And that for me has been where Saturn was squaring the nodes. That's kind of lessening off now. Saturn's direct, it's got, good forward momentum at this point. The Saturn Uranus square is just coming into its last kind of bout, and we'll be leaving that behind soon. But I had this feeling this year that like things were being pulled apart and simultaneously put back together, and I kind of feel like this is a week where that is going to be really exacerbated in some way. Interesting mix for sure. All right. One way that this could show up as well on the wider world stage, and I really hope I'm wrong on this front, that could be, I don't even really want to say the words, but I have to call it as I see it. And for those of you that sent me messages about what happened in Indonesia, I'm very grateful to you for sharing that. Sometimes it's really hard to see the predictions that you make come to pass, especially when it's for challenging things. That is potentially potentially some kind of destruction around a hospital or a place of healing or religion. And I really hope that I'm wrong on that front, but it is a possibility. For our actions and options this week, we've got the Eight of Swords. This week, if you are trapped, dear Leos, it really is going to be self-inflicted. And that's not me saying like, oh, well, if you're stuck, then it's your own fault. It's what I'm saying here is, if you allow your mind to tell you that you're stuck in a situation, you'll be stuck in a situation. This week, you really do need to find a way to look for the results or the resolutions to whatever challenges show up for you. And with this situation, it might be a case where you literally just have to kind of grin and bear it. It's like, okay, yes, this sucks, or yes, this experience that I'm having is hard, but I'm just having to get past it or through it in some way. For your communications and conversations, bloody hell, we've got the Death card. So it's really weird because I feel like this is an interruption. And what I mean by that is every so often Tarot will interrupt whatever I'm talking about and kind of say, no, this is important, you need to pay attention to this. And I feel like that is an interruption. We've got the Death card right underneath the Temperance card and the Tower. That is potentially, touch wood, I hope I'm wrong, on the wider world stage, that is potentially a large-scale death that happens either in a religious place and or sanctuary or a hospital. I really hope I'm wrong on this front, but what else can I say? On a more personal level, the Death card as a communications card means this week you keep your mouth shut. All right, you can talk about whatever you want. You don't have to take my advice. You don't have to take this reading. You can throw it in the trash should you choose. But this week, it's not going to benefit you to speak out. Like, this is a week where I think silence is definitely going to be best. This would be a week to hang back and observe. Now you've got this here with the Eight of Swords. Now, one way that that could show up is literally you could decide to pull yourself out of a situation that's been quite challenging for you and say, okay, you know what, I'm choosing not to get involved in this. Now, when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, you could literally be leaving school, college, university this week, and it might come as like a sudden realization. Maybe everything's fine 1 minute, and then the next minute you say to yourself, actually, you know what, this really isn't for me, and you decide to go down a different path or a different route for yourself. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, it is possible that there is a massive shake-up coming to your work sector this week. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody walks out. I wouldn't be surprised if this person is potentially a senior of some kind, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you're left kind of picking up some of the slack because somebody leaves. And I think that's where this Eight of Swords comes in. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is a good week to lay low. All right, like this is whatever it is that you're doing with your work or your business, this is actually a good week to lay low. I'm intrigued by this on so many levels, on a personal in a personal sense. That's as much as I will say on that front. I really hope it's not as challenging as all of this, but it's a possibility. For the those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could literally be news of a death that comes to you. If it is the case, it's probably going to come from overseas. I don't feel that this is somebody that's like in your immediate environment. It will be maybe a family member that lives quite far away or overseas. I hope that's not the case. Again, just a possibility. For your love and relations, you've got the Four of Wands. Finally, some good news. So you've got this underneath the Eight of Swords, right? For those of you that are single, you know, and it's always the way, right? You're not really looking to meet anybody or for anything to get serious, and then you bump into somebody, and that is, you know, is the case. For a lot of you, maybe you could be speaking to someone, maybe you're talking to them about situations that are quite serious, and you realize through that you've got very similar outlooks or viewpoints. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the Four of Wands suggests that your relationship, your partner, is the sanctuary this week. So when the world gets crazy or things get heavy or whatever, it's like the place that you go to is your significant other, and that's where you find the nurturing, the nourishing, and the healing. You know, this is where you find like actually things are good here. Now, one way that this could show up with the Death card and the Four of Swords, with the Four of Wands, that can literally be not like a celebration of someone's death, but it's like either the person was in pain for a long time and they go swiftly, and it's like, okay, you know what, yes, this sucks and I can't believe it's happened, but there's no pain. On the other side of it, it could literally be, you know what, this person was like 95 years old. None of us are going to live forever. Yes, it's sad that they're gone, but they lived a good life and they weren't surrounded by loved ones. That's what all of us hope for, right? So in that regard, it could be a celebration. For your money and materials, you have the Queen of Swords. So usually the Queen of Swords is an air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So this could be somebody that financially either helps or supports you. It may be that some financial issue, challenge, or problem shows up for you this week. So I'm intrigued by this because the Queen of Swords, remember, this is about what you fight for. And with that Eight of Swords, it's like, sorry, that was my knee that clicked. There's kind of no getting out of this. You know, it looks like there's going to be a hard conversation that comes up that you're going to have. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Queen of Swords in terms of like physical health, for me, this is always where like the mind takes the brunt of everything because there's so much going on. And this could be a little bit of an intense week, I'm sorry to say. Finally, when it comes to your home and your environment, be prepared for this to be a rocky week across the board. All right, and I'm really sorry to say that. I wish I could give you better, brighter news. As you know, I'm a Leo ascendant, so I'm kind of a little bit like really, could we not have had, you know, so we just had so much sunshine and now all of this, and maybe that's why we had it, right? So that we got a little bit of the wind back in our sails before we had to, you know, push on a little bit further. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know if it's not too personal how it goes in the comments, and I will look to do the same. Take care, and I'll see you soon.